Jason Benetti is doing all the games. He is doing baseball games. He is doing football games. He's doing college football games. It's Texas Tech this weekend for you. Like you're doing
Texas.
So you're watching the World Series though, right? You're not like so busy preparing for college football that you segue. You're still interested in everything that's happening with the World Series, right?
Absolutely. I can't say that I made it through 18 innings, but I rewatched the other day. I fell asleep at like midnight. It was not good. It was not good baseball fan behavior, I'll tell you that much. But I think I'm the first person to go from Manhattan, New York to Manhattan, Kansas, back to Manhattan, New York in a week.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not a great situation.
Uh,
These small college towns can't be funny. You can't get in here easily, can you?
I hold in my hand my Jason Benetti baseball card. Revoked.
What?
Revoked. You fell asleep?
Whoa!
You fell asleep? How? Were you not filled with adrenaline and intrigue and mystery on who was going to win this epic baseball game?
What a movie trailer that was. I would say I had enough intrigue and heartrending behavior when the Tigers got knocked out in a 15-inning game that I was watching in Lubbock, Texas. And I was like, you know what? I'll catch up tomorrow. I'm so sorry. Like, really, apologies. But what if the story was somebody drugged me as part of a bank heist that I witnessed, and then they knocked me out, so I couldn't watch the end of the game? Is that better?
Go on.
Yeah, that is slightly better. Even you'd concede that much, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like I could get my baseball card back if I said that, like that I just couldn't stay up for some nefarious reason, right? Maybe I was part of the Louvre heist.
Can we segue here into something that I'm
No.
shocked by? I'm shocked that Chris Cody has never heard "Boom Goes the Dynamite." He doesn't know what it is.
What?
He doesn't know anything about what "Boom Goes the Dynamite" is. He doesn't understand the reference. So we'll get the video here in a second to play it for him. Because if you get secondhand embarrassment for people, you will get some second. Look at Benetti. He is shocked that Chris Cody doesn't know what this is. So we'll play it for Chris Cody in a second. But I want to talk to you for a second about what we witnessed before you fell asleep and after you fell asleep in that 18-inning game. Yesterday we were talking, and I don't think we're prisoner of the moment, to say that we're watching Babe Ruth in real time against 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. We're watching the modern-day Babe Ruth. But where would you go if I said that Shohei Ohtani is the single greatest athlete that we have ever seen? Now, we have not seen LeBron James or Shaq as a tight end, for example. I imagine they would be great tight ends, and I imagine if they played both sports, they would be great at both sports. But Shohei is doing two different things in a sport that only one other guy has done reasonably well. I guess you could say Rick Ankiel, but there aren't many who have done it in a Ruthian fashion. There are only two. So where do you land as an observer of sport on Shohei Ohtani possibly being the best athlete that there's ever been?
Yeah, it's like my mind goes to like Jim Brown, Jim Thorpe. There are a couple others that you could argue did otherworldly things kind of like this. But to watch him, there's a number floating around of his power to the pull side and his power to the opposite field and center field, and they're both in the top five. Like, not only is he a great pitcher and a great hitter, but he's great at very specific things within those two that people don't do either, right? Like, he's very willing to hit a ball out of the strike zone to create problems for people. There are all these micro reasons that he is one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest ever. But where my mind goes, honestly, Dan, is like, what if in the next 40 years we're at the vanguard? I'm certain we are watching college baseball and how players are trying to do it, right? But what if there are more of these? Like, what if we just have not engineered them well enough? And I sound like an AI inventor type right now, and I don't mean to. But like, what if there are ways to create this and study him and do more of that? Like, what is the end run of all of this? Or is he the only person, because of the way he's built, because of genetics, because of his musculature, like all this stuff? What if he is truly the only one? And my answer to your question, kind of long-winded, but my answer to your question is, I think we'll find out at the end of this trial period, however long it lasts, where people invariably are going to try to recreate it. And if they can't, then I would say definitely, decidedly, he's the best ever.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because I believe the Dodgers and that roster are uniquely qualified to win at postseason baseball. I believe it's the best roster ever assembled, even though they didn't win more games than everyone during the regular season. And I believe they're built for this time of year. Can I plausibly say that if the Blue Jays beat them, a team that won more games during the regular season than the Dodgers, that it will be one of the biggest upsets in the history of baseball?
Yeah, it's so hard to because of the Blue Jays win total, but I don't know how good the American League was this year, but that's not taking anything away from that. Like I'm going to answer this question agnostically from the taking away from the Blue Jays. I think so too. I agree with you on the Dodgers roster. And I think it showed specifically in that 18 inning game, the way they construct a bullpen and the arm angles and their ability to get a loaded lineup out, even though there were some pinch hitters that came in and they're missing a couple guys late in that game. Like, I do think it is a really substantial upset. And the Blue Jays, I think, are very, very good. It's a deep lineup. Like, Shane Bieber pitched his tail off yesterday. They made some very savvy moves around the edges of the deadline to make themselves better. But I have thought all year the Dodgers are the best team in baseball, and it's not particularly close in the depth they have.
Am I overreacting when I say, am I being prisoner of the moment when I say, I have never seen, I know it's all Shohei Ohtani all the time, but I have never seen a postseason in which a player consistently hits the ball harder more often than Vladimir Guerrero?
Yeah, man, every time the Tigers play them and every time the White Sox played them when I was there, it was like 115-mile-an-hour scud missile. And then like Alejandro Kirk comes up and he hits a ball that's 2 balls off the plate into right field. He is just a mammoth human being. But I do want to double back because you said prisoner of the moment twice. And I wonder if the moment is the bailiff, or is it a prison of the moment? Is it like a pop-up shop prison? The prison of the moment is a visual to me that I think somebody should explore.
The moment is a sheriff, and he locks me up immediately when I say anything is the best I've ever seen when it happened 6 minutes ago. And that's
so the moment comes over to you and is like, hands up, varmint. Right? The moment is doing it. You're not going to a prison of the moment.
No, it is a moment that comes over, handcuffs me, roughs me up, plays by its own rules, and throws me immediately in a prison that is government run.
Frontier moment justice. I love it.
Vlad Guerrero, though, is getting overshadowed because he's hitting the ball hard every time, Jason. Like it is just totally insane. I understand why we're talking about Shohei Ohtani, but Vladimir Guerrero, your Tigers were really good. The Mariners were really good. The pitching is really good, and he's hitting everything hard.
Yeah, the thing about him is, and I've heard people say this about like Yordan Alvarez, and for a while this year, we looked it up when the Blue Jays were in town. Alejandro Kirk was the best bad ball hitter in baseball. This has been a good bad ball hitting lineup. And I say that because Guerrero takes pitches that are off the plate well, but he also is very willing to smartly expand the zone. And so if you're a ball and a half off the plate, he still can hurt you. Now it's the first connection people make is to his dad, right? Hitting the ball off the ground for a base hit, that iconic picture. But like part of this is their lineup is geared to that. And they are a very concentrated lineup of hitters who can do damage on baseballs off the plate. And I think that's part of where this comes about is we hear like John Schneider gets asked the questions about Ohtani, right? Are you going to walk Ohtani? They walk him a bunch of times, whatever. If you unintentionally try to intentionally walk Vlad Guerrero Jr., he can beat you on your misses. And I think that's the real problem. And then pitchers feel that tension. And then those middle pitches, he rarely, if ever, misses.